MMA scraps is why most shows tap out then cry. We the ones like 'em now at the end of the bout with our hands to the.
We want to get your thoughts on your big upcoming fight, man. First of all, last time we talked to you was before your James Wilkes fight, and as I told you in person, you had me holding my breath deep there for a while when he had that submission on. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about that fight, how you felt when you were during the fight? Like, did you feel like you were dominating the entire time, or did you know to always be careful? What was going through your mind?
No, I felt like I was winning the whole fight. I just I felt like I could have finished him pretty much any time, but I mean, not to make excuses, but I was just feeling real jet lagged, I guess, man, because I'd throw like a punch or two, I'd explode something. And then I was like, damn, that's all I got, man. That was just, every time I would, really put some effort into something, it just felt like that was all I had in the tank, and then it would come back, after, however long, a couple minutes or whatever, and then I'd do it again and just kept repeating that process, but fortunately he broke down before I did, so.
Yeah, I remember reading something about you saying that when you came down to the cage, something didn't quite feel right. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it just, like all week long, like I felt fine, and I didn't feel like I was getting jet lagged or nothing, but just that day, like I just started feeling it that day. I was like, man, like, you can, sometimes you can kind of feel it in your muscles and whatever, warming up and stuff. I was like, man, like something ain't there, but you kind of forget about it once you get punched in the face,
Yeah.
Yeah. That was out the window. Yep.
yeah. It all it all goes out the window.
Yeah. I don't. Something's just like, ooh, I'm fine. Like that'll change everything.
Yeah, exactly. I felt like I could have finished that fight probably in the first round had I not been jet lagged, but I think it actually turned out for the better because it ended up being just a real tough fight. It ended up being more exciting. I thought I should have got fight of the night myself, but I always think that.
Yeah. I think we talked about that. You always seem to get robbed. You always have a great fight, and then something else happens.
Yeah, it seems like I wouldn't necessarily say robbed, but like a one fight, like I got a submission, and it was like the only submission of the night until Dustin Hazlett has to pull off, the fucking crazy omoplata, whatever armbar omoplata thing he called. I'm like, damn, like I was the only other submission. Like, why did you have to do that?
Well, Matt, let's talk about your upcoming fight, man. They just say you're going to get submission guys here lately. You got the big dog in his hometown of New Jersey, Ricardo Almeida, man. What do you think about this fight? It's a very interesting fight for you.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting fight. I think it's probably the biggest challenge I've ever faced, and excuse me, I'm sorry.
No worries.
In my opinion, I've always felt like a guy like Almeida is the worst matchup for me, and that's exactly why I was happy to take the fight. I want to challenge myself and progress and improve all the time. So, it really definitely motivates me to train more, train harder, and, fighting a guy like Almeida, fighting a guy like him. I've been watching Almeida since, his Pride days. I've always been a big fan. So, so I got a lot of respect for his skills, and, I think it'd be great to, just for me, like, just to get in there and, like, to fight someone that, I've been watching for that long and got that much respect for. Like, I mean, it's just a cool thing, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm still, like, even though, like, I'm in the UFC and everything, like, I'm still, like, a fan, you know what I mean? Like, I still, get on the forums and read the stuff and, look at, the different sites every day, see the news, what's going on, and, you know what I mean? So, like, from, like, a fan, the fan side of me, it's like, man, it's so cool just to be in there with Almeida. But the fighter side of me is like, I'm going to go in there and beat the crap out of him, too. I don't care.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask, man. What's your prediction? Not to jinx yourself, but just what's your prediction? What are you thinking? Kick to face?
That's what I'm hoping for. You know, I think kick to the face is not actually unlikely at all. I'm looking to wear him out, man. You know, so I'm looking at second or third round. You know, I'm looking to just really push a pace on him that he can't handle. You know, crack his legs a bunch of times and just have him worried about what I'm doing instead of what he's doing, and I'm gonna put a hurting on him. Is the ultimate prediction.
Full of anger and rage. Welcome to the show.